Greetings, I'm the captain.
And I'm Chappers, and we're sat at Andertons, and some funny dude said in lots of comments on my videos, Chappers, why don't you use SGs? The main reason is, just didn't really get around to doing it, did we?
So I read these comments, and I take your comments on board, and I thought, right, let's
Board
stick...
the good ship captain.
Yeah, we'll put some SGs in the back of the car, bring them up to our video room, and I was kind of thinking, what's the angle to tell you about SGs? So what I thought was Gibson make quite a few different SGs in their range, but I've bought 3 models up here that take you from the SG Special, which is a US made SG but with a more affordable price tag on it, and then a couple more behind Chappers here. I've got an SG Classic, which is a little bit dearer but has a gloss body and has P90 pickups on it. And then we've bought the Daddy, which is the SG Standard, so all your kind of favourite iconic SG players, that's the kind of SG they'd have. So I thought Chappers could play some, you could hear the differences, see how it's a little different sounding to something like a Les Paul. We could talk about how it feels a little different because a lot of people think that an SG has a really, really long neck. The actual scale length on an SG is the same as a Les Paul.
It's just the way it's positioned makes you feel that way, you know.
Yeah, it's because if you imagine this was a Les Paul, the end of the neck would come into the body about this far, so it does feel like it's a little further
I also
away.
just feel really inadequate playing one because I've seen Derek Trucks.
Yeah, Derek Trucks is pretty special on the SG. So, look, ask me some questions.
The first thing that I notice about SGs is they're very resonant. Something about the way it's constructed in the woods. It's a super... It's pretty acoustic, really, isn't it? It's got some super nice tones just without plugging it in. And we're going to plug it into a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe and a Black Star. Yeah.
And also, as a bit of extra bonus material, one of my guys here just quickly ran up the stairs and said, oh, look, 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 this has been delivered. So, yeah, this is a... You guys, if you've seen a few of our videos, you know that Rob and I both love pedals. Does that sound right? Yeah.
We love pedals.
The brand is Lovepedal, they're great pedals. And this is a new one that has just come out called the Amp 11. So I've plugged this into the Hot Rod Deluxe and I'll show you a little bit of that later as well. Pretty simple, isn't it, the SG?
It's a simple guitar, but that's what makes it great, really, isn't it? You know?
I guess like a same basic pickup selection as a Les Paul. So.
It's like you were saying to me earlier, not a lot of people, big famous guys, use SGs, but when they do, they tend to be amazing players, you know, or just great, unique tones. I think that's the thing.
We'll come back to it on the drive sound. I think it is a different sound to the Les Paul. So anyway, let's see.
So here's your bridge humbucker. Middle position. Neck humbucker. That's a punchy bass sounding thing, isn't it? That was the riff that summoned a brand new Black Star amplifier.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. We shall enjoy playing that.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, man.
Your face will never be shown on camera, but your Black Star amplifier will always be loved. So Lee, what makes this different to the other guitars in our range?
Well, I guess that Gibson have this concept with, well no, let's just start that again. You guys all know if you see a Gibson guitar, they use this stunning, deep gloss finish, which if you're into your guitar making, is what's called a nitrocellulose finish. And it is the way the guitar is finished is by using by reapplying a cellulose lacquer a number of times to the guitar. So apply it, let it dry.
It's about 6, isn't it?
Yeah, and it builds up this very deep hue. That technique was largely sort of stopped being used on cheaper guitars in the 70s when polyurethane finishes were invented, and that was a much faster way of finishing a guitar with a gloss finish and being able to finish them en masse as well, so you could finish, you know, 50-60 guitars at a time on a rack. But Gibson have always stayed true to the original technique of using a cellulose finish. So if you take one of the real shiny Gibsons that you can see in the background,
shiny.
Yeah, that finish has taken hours and hours and hours to apply. So by just simply not finishing the guitar like we have on the Special here, which is just like a wax sort of seal finish, you save hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So some of the other things that will save money, there's no binding on the Special, the inlays are much simpler, it doesn't come with a hard case, it comes with a gig bag.
It's what I call a workhorse.
Yeah.
This is my favourite type of SG. I love this natural wood finish.
Yeah.
I love the smell of the wax. Smell is very important to me with the guitar. And it just feels nice to me. It feels like a guitar you'd stick in a gig and you'd gig it everywhere.
But it's several £100s cheaper than the SG Standard for what will end up. It won't feel quite the same because, of course, not having a lacquered neck will feel a little different. But tonally speaking, is pretty much the same. Comes from the same factory as the SG Standard.
Yeah, still made in the USA.
Yeah. So this particular guitar, right now, at the time of watching the video, is £599. In fact,
Ooh,
can you double check that for me, Paul, before we just move on? £599. So, but as always on these kind of products where, you know, currency changes and things like that, do go to Andertons and just double check the price before you run off and save up your money. But yeah, $599 right now, so that's amazing for an American-made guitar. So let's hear it with some drive.
Drive me, baby.
Let's hear it with the Amp 11 pedal through the Fender's clean
Amp
sound.
11 pedal it up. So, here is a clean.
We've got a regular setting and a boost setting. So here's the regular setting.
That's great!
It's a good pedal, isn't it?
Yeah.
He makes good pedals.
He just makes love pedals.
In a pedal. Love in a pedal.
So how much is that?
That's a good question. Let me just ask it. Hang on. Says it's, how much are you get? £149.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
But all I want to know is how much gain has it got?
I thought
just
you might.
put all the gain
Let's just
in.
do it then.
That's great.
It's a classic rock blues drive pedal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like it. It's
It works
nice.
really well with the Fender tonality, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good little amp to use pedals with that one. Anyway, cool. Might come back to that later with a different guitar.
Next SG! Oh! This is immediately better. I wasn't going to say that, was I?
No.
Can I say that?
Well, it's dearer, so you'd expect it to be better.
It just feels immediately better.
What do you like? In what way? Is it because it's the gloss neck?
No, it's not the gloss. I'm not a gloss neck fan. It's something about
The binding, maybe?
I don't know, man. It just feels better.
Well, I'm
It's the
glad you
setup. It may be the setup.
No,
Did you
it
set it
shouldn't
up better? You preferred the setup on this one, do you? I think what happened was our tech just liked this one more and set it up better. That's probably what it was. But it just feels like the action feels nicer. The intonation feels good. Intonation feels good. Someone's going to believe that's true in a minute. Oh, really? How does intonation supposed to feel? It just feels good. It's lovely. Great.
So this is actually a new model in the SG catalogue for 2011. So this is called an SG Classic.
Wish I had a beer right now to go with this SG. Imagine that. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
That It's spooky.
Cobra.
Cobra even.
Cobra. For those beer moments when you need a beer.
Thanks, beer arm.
Called Cobra. When I'm having an Indian meal and I get that feeling that I need to quench my thirst with something beer-like, some kind of fermented grain beverage, I reach for a Cobra. This guitar amp speak to me. But there's an elephant in the room.
SG Classic here, you'll notice immediately it's
got P, wait for it, 90s.
P90s, so you can hear it's a bit snappier, a little bit cleaner than the previous model that we just tried. Other than that, you've got the sort of real vintage style button machine heads, and you'll notice as well it is a gloss finish guitar, so like an SG Standard. And these are, again, great value. Again, I'm really not sure how long these are going to stay in the Gibson catalogue for. I don't know if it's a 2011 limited model or something like that. Gibson have a horrid habit of always, you know, just making something and everybody getting excited about it and then going, oh, we're not going to make that anymore. But basically, this is called an SG Classic and sells for $899 and now does come with a hard case.
And what an awesome balance to have the P90s with the mahogany wood and the dark tones you'd associate with Gibson, because you get that bit of clarity in top end, like a polished shark.
Yeah.
Snappy, clean.
It's a good one. It's got a little bit of the juicy loveliness from the SG Standard, but still retaining some of the cost-saving sort of features off of the SG Special.
What? Lee. Were
P90s
invented by Joe 90?
Well, obviously they were, because they're named after him, aren't they? It's like the PAF Pro was invented by Bob PAF Pro.
When you said juicy goodness, I had an inkling for our fruit demos. Remember a while back? Yeah, I really missed those, man. Maybe people could suggest fruit we could demo next.
I'll tell you the only stupid question is, next thing, Stig will be saying, was Seymour Duncan invented by Seymour Duncan? I mean, that's a stupid question that is. Obviously, it's a stupid
that would be a real name.
Come on. I couldn't do that again. I tried.
You can't see that because you're facing this way, but he just threw a bit of paper out of a window. An absolutely impossible shot. It was amazing.
Michael Jordan, eat your heart out.
Sounds a bit John Mayer-ish. I think Lee should play a little bit of his Lee Captain Blues.
So you're not saying my name and John Mayer's name in the same breath, though.
Captain John Mayer. So what we got here is a real SG.
Well, they're all real SGs, just this one's the daddy one.
This one's, well, all SGs are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yes. Who said that?
I just did.
Wasn't that Aldous Huxley?
Talking of which, tell me about SGs in general.
Well, I could not believe, one of the weirdest sort of bits of guitar trivia that I've picked up over the years is somebody at Gibson back in 1960, 61, something like that, decided that the Les Paul, you know, that sort of icon of rock guitar, maybe actually wasn't that cool a guitar anymore, and someone thought, I know what, we'll discontinue that and we'll bring out this guitar instead, the SG, which at the time just stood for solid guitar, so it was Gibson solid guitar.
Wasn't solid guitar. Sex god guitars.
Yeah.
Super good guitars.
Super Gran, Shandy Glove.
Sexy Gibbon guitars. That's what I thought it was.
It could have been.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, who knows? It's just a bit of trivia anyway. So, out comes the SG, and it appeals to a different kind of player, and obviously, as you know, a few years later, Gibson reissued the Les Paul as well, and so you've got the Les Paul and the SG running together. But this is called the SG Standard. So this, although it's changed a little bit since the 60s, it's fundamentally still this same double cut, 2 humbucker, solid mahogany guitar, beautiful bound neck, lovely, lovely inlays, the sort of tulip style machines. You know, it's another little classic piece of rock history. I guess, you know, one of my favourite all-time guitar players, Angus Young, is kind of, you know, he's synonymous with this kind of sound. And more recently, you know, you got guys like Derek Trucks, you know, amazing guitar. Yeah, you know, still showing that, you know, it's still a very relevant guitar now. Because it's a slab body guitar, unlike a Les Paul with the arch top on it, it's always been quite a lot less money to buy one of these than a Les Paul Standard. So even though the same amount of sort of, you know, love and attention and technique goes into building one, these will generally sell for about £1,000, so quite a lot less than a Les Paul. And yeah, this is it. This is the daddy.
The daddy.
So what is it? 22 fret again. Again, the whole thing with the SG.
Why don't we count those frets?
Okay, let's do it.
1, 2, 11, 12, 17, 22 frets.
Amazing.
Yes.
Shandy Glove.
Yeah, Shandy Glove.
Shandy Glove. Sausage Gobbler.
Crikey. That's a big intake of liquid there.
I do like a good mouthful of water every so often. Can I have some Black Starry filthy goodness, please?
Black Star Filthy Goodness coming right up.
Can I just say, there it is?
Stayed in nice hotels recently?
I stayed at the Travelodge in Guildford recently. Well, the rumours of chappers not liking SGs should now be dismissed and trod upon and run from this land.
So we've had fun today. We've been using the 3 SGs, SG Special, SG Classic. Actually, it's an SG Special worn finish, that particular one.
The
SG
holy
Classic,
trinity of SG.
SG Standard. You've been hearing the amp sounds from a Blackstar HT60, a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe.
And the letters A, N, D, E, R, T, O, N, and S.
I've been Ernie, he's been Eric. And also all the drive sounds that you heard on the Fender amplifier were coming from this lovely pedal from Lovepedal called the Amp 11.
Which we love.
Which we love.